My very first instrument actually was the alto saxophone, but beforehand we had instrumental music in my elementary school, in which they figured out a very keen way to weed out certain people that weren't going to continue on by playing the Yamaha Baroque recorder, actually, which at the time was selling for $2.50. And it was a very inexpensive way, as opposed to our parents getting, horns and getting caught up in these rental programs and for hundreds of dollars. For $2.50, we were learning the fundamentals on how to play a wind instrument. And at the same time, our people were able to hold on to their money, and thank heavens I went on ahead and went through the recorder portion of it very well and got my fundamentals down, and was able to apply that to the saxophone, the alto saxophone later, which was my very first member of the saxophone family that I played. Oh God, I eternally lift up, as far as my musical tutelage and just the way of life is concerned, first and foremost, my musical father, Mr. Donald Washington. It was through him that I didn't quit, because as a result of wanting to learn jazz on the saxophone back in the late 70s, early 80s, we're talking about, and being in elementary school, the teachers or band directors weren't equipped to encourage. Basically I was in a band today, method book, Mary Had a Little Lamb, Hot Cross Buns, and New Note Today, every other, lesson or whatever, with the band. So that was the only parameters that he dealt with. As far as me playing, wanting to play Little Suede Shoes or, what I heard off of the radio, no, I'm not, I don't have nothing to do with it. So I was thinking, as far as jazz was concerned, looking at all the pictures and like Orrin Keepnews's A Pictorial History of Jazz, for example, everybody's older on there. So I'm figuring maybe I need to wait until I get older. Maybe I should quit now, because I'm not getting the encouragement from the school director, the band director at school. So my older brother, Kevin Carter, got in touch with Mr. Donald Washington, who he played with over the years at this place called Cobb's Corner back in Detroit, and set up an evaluation lesson where I was able to go over and show him what I knew. And from there, he prescribed to play long tones in order to get my breathing capacity up. Also to get the Rubank method of saxophone, and also the universal saxophone method books to get my legit playing up to par, if you will, and also the various self-help things from Jamie Aebersold, the Music -1 series, and those things were pretty helpful. And needless to say, his extensive album and tape collection, which I had great access to, and was able to make copies of various things that he felt that I needed. And last but not least, the Saturday lessons, which went 2-3 hours, on average. And sometimes he wouldn't even look at the clock. It was because it was just the joy of him, being able to impart his knowledge. All for $5 a lesson. $5. The second shout out I definitely want to give is to my middle school director. Her name is Miss Valerie Turner Way. It was through her that she continued to be like an extension of Mr. Washington, only this time it was in school, where I had access to other instruments that I wasn't playing. I was assigned the baritone saxophone in school, and that was the first time I actually was able to play a baritone saxophone, was through her. But I also had to play certain alto parts as well, and sometimes I didn't want to deal with the alto after a while because I was into this baritone and all, and I would get bad marks because I didn't bring the alto along, but I didn't care. It was just about this baritone. And in addition, she also loaned other instruments to me, the flute, bass, clarinet, and I also was able to get a contrabass, my very first contrabass clarinet through her. That used to be the school's contrabass clarinet that they had for 20 some odd years before my arrival, but no one played it. So I was able to, through inter-school release thing, to have it released to me, and it was through her that these efforts happened, and she was very encouraging to listen to any and everything as well too, and we kind of cemented this mentor-teacher relationship, and when we played together in 1987 with the Detroit Metropolitan Orchestra under the direction of Harry McTerry at that particular time. And the special guest was Joe Williams. We did a half a segment which was dedicated to Gershwin, which was the Rhapsody in Blue and the American in Paris concertos. And then we took a break, and then the second segment was with Joe Williams. That was the first and only time I had met him, and you know, and that was just great for us to be in a professional capacity together and all that. So those are my two shout outs as far as grand teachers and musical artistic angels that are still amongst us, I'm glad to say, because with all the passings, there are still people that are amongst us that still continue to do benevolent work for the arts, and those are my two. Well, Detroit continues to be a wellspring of not only of creativity, culture. It's our family. It's my genesis. It's my ground zero. I'm the youngest of 5 in my family. I have 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and all of which musically inclined. So I had a very fertile household of musicians, and my mom's used to play piano and violin back in her formative years, and my late father used to play a mean radio. It's like B.B. King and T-Bone Walker were it, you know, and if you weren't coming with anything as soulful as that, then you didn't get any spins from Dad, you know. And my older brother that I mentioned before, Kevin, is a guitarist and vocalist. He used to play with Parliament Funkadelic back during the Mothership Connection days. And my oldest brother, Robert Carter, is a vocalist and percussionist who actually had he's in the Jackie Wilson vein. He had a Earth, Wind inspired group back in the late 70s, early 80s that had a national hit out called I Just Can't Control Myself under the name Nature's Divine. And my oldest sister, Virginia, was a very fine alto singer. She passed back when I was 5, actually. My younger sister, Priscilla, she sings and plays piano and flute and piccolo, but she doesn't do it professionally. Only my brothers are for the profession. My sister's actually an accountant with Sony. So, I mean, and a host of cousins as well, you know, that would come over and play, and, you know, and I would flirt with each of the instruments and all this other. So growing up, even before I got the saxophone, I was batting and banging and doing this, that, and other, and being the pest during the rehearsals and stuff. So, yeah, I was that individual. And I think Detroit continues to have fertile situations like that, musical families, various musical outlets. The Carr Center is one of the cultural well springs, you know, for people to go. My son, James Jr., just finished a jazz camp there that lasted for a month, and he just started playing alto officially. He had been flirting with all my instruments since he was 3. You know, I never forced it upon him or my daughter, who's a great dancer who's coming up in the Ailey tradition eventually. And but you know, continuous influences and inspirations and encouragement from our folks in Detroit continues to put out, you know, great products. Even after the auto lines have shut down and gone other places, I hear they're coming back, but you know, known for much more. Hey, this is James Carter, and I'm on the set with JazzTimes, and if you want more videos such as this, go and check out jazztimes.com. Dig you later.